Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, and this is the layout I'm scraplifting today. This is my mom's layout, and that is me around the age 2. And she just did that layout, and I was in love with her stitching detail, the way she did her layers, a little peekaboo. This was her original inspiration, so I wanted to make sure I noted both of them because that's the layout she actually scrap lifted. But I was just dying to do this page, so I went through, I think this is, what's this paper pad called? It is Harvest Meadows. It's a Recollections paper pad that I got from Michael's, and I'm in love with this collection. Most fall paper pads I really like, especially when they kind of have this fresher twist and they're not super vintagey. So I wanted to pull out this collection for this because this is another fall event. I know this month I've been scrapbooking more current events, but next month I'm planning on doing a lot of Avery pictures, so I wanted to at least get one layout squeezed in going backwards for me. So this was 2011. I was a junior or senior in college, and I was a senior because I was the president of the Horsemen's Association in these photos. So my year, I was in the Horsemen's Association for 3 years, I think. The second year I was their PR person, and then my senior year I was the president. So I really made an effort when I was president to collaborate a lot with other clubs, especially in the ag department. So this was one of the events we did with the Cattlemen's Association. So they threw this fall festival, and we were like, hey, as horsemen, we could come, and I think there were like fundraisers and different things, but it was really a cool fall event for the community. And we were like, hey, we're horsemen, so we could like do pony rides for the kids that end up coming. So that's basically what this is. We really wanted to show our support for other clubs and really kind of merge our group with theirs, seeing as people who love horses and people who love cattle oftentimes have overlapping interests. So that was the goal, is to kind of reach out and spread a little bit. The bottom photo, each club got a hay bale to decorate. And I think we had to donate a certain amount for the hay bale, and then the donations went towards whatever the cattlemen's philanthropy was for that event. And we really kind of got stuck trying to come up with ideas for our hay bale. And I think it was right when Steve Jobs had passed away. So we're like, oh, let's do an Apple themed hay bale. And you're like, yeah, that's like a current event and we don't have anything else, so let's do that. So we painted basically a rainbow apple icon on the front of it, and on the back it said something, but I don't remember what it was, but it kind of had the Horsemen's Association at UGA on it. And we made an iPod out of solo cups, duct tape, and a cardboard box, and I was really proud of it. So that's kind of what the one picture is. And then the other picture is me in the middle with two of the other club members in the barn at the University of Georgia. We were about to go tack up all the horses for the pony rides. So I just wanted to document this. I was really proud of the fact that we got to do a lot of stuff this year with other groups. So I definitely wanted to note that. That's basically what the page is about and why I wanted a fall collection. And from here, I really wanted to start off my page by getting my background together. I really loved my mom's page, how she did this lacing detail up between the two pattern papers. I love that there's this little peekaboo with the folded edges with the third pattern paper kind of peeking through. So I'm just trying to get that part of my page done because that's really the foundation that I need to get completed before I can start designing with my photos and doing layers and all of that. I remember she said, I really liked her layout because she kind of did multiple bows within her lacing. We kind of both looked at the original, which was super, super cute, but the way the lacing was done, we kind of felt like it looked like a shoe. And we didn't want our layouts to look like a shoe. So she kind of tweaked hers by adding more bows. I'm kind of tweaking mine by not having any bows and just do kind of cross stitching up the join. And I was out of my white embroidery thread, so I had to get kind of creative, and I ended up just using my golden white twine as my embroidery thread, which I don't really recommend. It's a lot harder to work with. But it did the job, and it looked really cool and added a lot of texture. The papers I'm using don't have any gold, but I will end up pulling in one of the pattern papers from this collection that does have gold foiling on it. So the gold will make sense by the end, but I kind of just like that you got the texture of the twine, but this glimmer of the gold that ran through it. And I just think it looks really cool. I really loved that part of my mom's layout, so I definitely was excited to recreate it myself. So I just did a cross stitch across that join. I'm securing some of the loose pieces on the back with my double stick tape on top of tying it. And then I will back the back of this layout with some black paper just so there's a solid backing, kind of sandwiching all of these loose threads to keep it all secure. So I'm just doing that really quickly, and once I flip over I can start layering my photos. I really had fun with this. This part of the layout was the main part I really was excited to scrap lift. I knew I had 2 photos and I kind of wanted to do what my mom did and have one photo on each side of the page, and kind of do some layering from there. But I kind of just go off on my own and start my layering stuff, and then whenever I kind of get stuck, I'll just revisit my mom's layout and look at different elements she pulled in, and kind of that gets me out of my jam, and I keep going after that. One thing I wanted to mention in my mom's layout, it was so cool. She did this hand lettering, which her pages, they make me so nostalgic because they just remind me of when we used to scrapbook together. And back when we used to scrapbook, we didn't have like thickers or foam stickers or dimensional alphabets. Like, it was really just flat stickers or hand lettering. And the old school alpha sheets, they'd only give you a couple letters of each word, so it's almost like you used the alpha sheet once and it was dead because it was really hard to spell words because they just didn't give you enough letters. But on top of that, them being flat stickers, sometimes it's hard because there's just no dimension. So me and my mom were really big into learning and finding different techniques to do hand lettered titles, and she did some really cool hand lettering. She found a tutorial on her original layout that was really awesome. So I wanted to point that out on her layout if you want to go back and see it at the beginning, because it was really cool. I definitely knew I wouldn't have the patience to create something like that, but as I started composing my page, I kind of already saw I had several cut aparts that had like my title element on it. So I really didn't have to worry about creating a title. I just chose to use what I had. But that was a really cool part of her page that I really liked. But now that I am layering my photos, the photo that is on the more white paper, I wanted to pull in some of the mustard pattern paper from the bottom. So I first matted both photos in a navy blue pattern paper just to tie in that navy from the peekaboo, which is something my mom also did on her layout. The pattern paper that she used as her little peekaboo element, she pulled into a couple other areas of the page, which I really, really liked. So I went ahead and matted both photos in a navy pattern paper to kind of tie back to that. But the photo that's on the top, I wanted to have some mustard element, so I matted it in that mustard polka dot. And then the photo on the bottom, I matted in some white and gold pattern paper. So it brings in that white element from the top, but it also starts to tie in the gold from my twine, which I really liked. I didn't want this to be a super shiny metallic-y layout, but I really wanted there to be some cohesive elements with the pops of gold. So that's what I decided to do. Now that I have both photos double matted, I want to figure out layering wise and design wise where I want to take this. I found this cut apart sheet that was navy that had gold gather written on it, which I thought was appropriate because this event was really about UGA college students coming together and throwing this, fall festival for the community, and all of us really coming together for that. And I thought that was appropriate. It was in my color scheme. It tied in the navy and the gold again, but it was a little bit too wide. So I did just trim it skinnier and then trimmed the edges into a fishtail banner because I like that extra detail. So I thought that would be nice branching out from the bottom photo as my title element. But I thought it looked a little bit too plain how it was. So again, I took that same gold and white pattern paper I matted the photo in and matted that fishtail banner as well. So I'm going to get that trimmed up. I think that looks really nice. It kind of just makes it look more finished than if I would have just left it as is. So I really like how that's starting to look. It does branch out quite far on that horizontal kind kind of in that area. So I kind of felt like I needed another element in that corner. So I had a journaling spot from the cut apart sheet that also was in my color scheme that I thought fit in there perfectly, but it had this yellow mustardy floral around the edge, and I didn't like how the yellow pattern was going on to a yellow pattern. So I took another cut apart that was navy and matted it in the navy. So there's this skinny navy border that goes around it to kind of break up the two pieces so the mustard patterns aren't clashing. So I'm just getting that together really quick, but I like how that all looks tucked together and neat. So I'm planning on that being my title, and then I'll do some journaling right there explaining the photo that it's next to. But I had to tuck it behind that photo a good bit so it wouldn't run into my lacing detail. I really don't want anything overlapping this cross stitching through the middle of the page because I think that's a really cool detail. So with the part of that journaling piece that's tucked behind the photo, I will end up trimming that because there's just enough left to tuck that same journaling piece on my top photo to then be able to do my journaling for the top photo. So that worked out really, really well. Again, I do just have some die cut hearts over my two friends' faces just because I'm not sure if they would want to be on YouTube. So that's why they're there. But I left my face uncovered so you could see me. So there's someone to look at on that photo. But this is kind of where I got stuck. I liked the ideas I was going with, but I was like, I need some more layers. I'm not quite sure what to do. And the paper I already have, I've already used and don't really want to implement more. So I looked back at my mom's layout and I saw in that top cluster she used a doily for her layer, and I was like, perfect. I'm a doily person. We're gonna pull in some doilies. So I went ahead and grabbed a doily and just used that in both clusters, and while I was at it I pulled in a glassine bag just so for more subtle textured layery detail. So I added that to both areas, and I'm pretty happy with how the layering is looking now. I do end up going in and cutting a fishtail banner out of the same blue paper that's in that peekaboo to add to that top cluster. I really felt like I had this navy gather title piece and that peekaboo cluster were nice dominant navy areas, but I wanted one more in that top cluster too, so I just added that fishtail banner up there. To me now that layering kind of looks complete and I think it helps mimic the navy banner that's the title on the bottom. So I like how everything's looking. I'm gonna go ahead and glue everything down and then I'll get my journaling done. But I had so much fun. This page, it came together pretty quickly. It was pretty simple, but because of these really cool different elements, it looks really intricate and really like, I don't know, I just really like how it ended up turning out. But my journaling on the top is just saying Kimberly Keela and I tacked up the horses for some pony rides, and then I dated it. This was October 25th of 2011. And that was basically that top photo. The bottom photo, I'm just saying the Horseman's Hay Bale for the Cattlemen's Fall Festival in honor of Steve Jobs' recent passing. I just quickly wanted and concisely wanted to say this is the Cattlemen's Fall Festival. We're the Horsemen's Association, and this was our hay bale and what it was about, just as concisely as possible in that little journaling spot so I could remember. But that is pretty much the journaling. And then I wanted a little bit of embellishment. There weren't any embellishment really details. So I pulled in this little epoxy heart sticker sheet that Lisa sent me. I love this little sticker sheet, and there was like the perfect color mustard and navy hearts on here. So I'm adding the yellow hearts onto the navy elements of the top cluster, and then I'm adding the navy hearts down on the mustard area of the bottom cluster. So I like that that is also kind of mirrored. I'm excited about that. And then I just felt like I wanted one more gold detail, but I didn't want to use Heidi Swap Color Shine. I really kind of liked how clean this was looking. So I decided to go in with Lisa's brass liquid pearls that she sent me to add a couple little gold dots within the heart embellishment areas. So I love that. I am so in love with how this page turned out. I really hope I did my mom justice by scrap lifting her. And these are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out everyone else playing along with Off the Boards with Pineapple Papers, where we take a Pinterest inspiration and scrap lift it or create with it. They're all linked in the description. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.